I think there's been a very exhilarating update when it comes to ICP. Even though nothing I say is financial advice, did you know that Dfinity recently posted saying how there's a new ICP skill? And of course, they're talking about Motoko, which is ICP's quote unquote native programming language. But here's the thing now, allegedly, AI agents can effectively, I think, utilize Motoko properly, at least from what I can see when it comes to this post. Why does this even matter? Well, it's because one of the main focuses of the internet computer is AI. So if their native programming language, basically, again, Motoko, can be used properly or wielded properly, or whatever the case may be, when it comes to AI agents, isn't that a good thing? That, if anything, I think increases the presence when it comes to ICP in terms of the AI space. Now, people like to tell me, well, who cares about this nonsense? Well, I care about it because I think it showcases the continuous improvements that Dfinity is doing. Because for a project out there that a lot of people like to arguably say doesn't care, I think this kind of showcases otherwise, because if Dfinity cares about the internet computer, if they care about improving it, I just think it's really awesome at the end of the day. And I think if, let's say, they're trying to improve aspects regarding it as well, I just think it's a net benefit and a net positive overall. I don't think it's a bad thing, though. That's the thing. Now, actually, in the past 24 hours, ICP has been up almost 5%. So maybe this had something to do with this alongside the market recovering a little bit. But I'm saying still, this might have had a slight impact, in my opinion, because naturally a lot of people do care about AI and they see this right here, and then they kind of, I guess, associate that as hypothetically maybe a good thing. Who knows? I just think it's pretty cool nonetheless, though. But one thing is for sure, at least for me, though, is that this right here didn't change my sentiment in any sort of significant way when it comes to ICP, because I'm in it for the hypothetical long term. I'm still holding, still waiting. So this right here is just like a little bit of the cherry on top for me. It doesn't really change my conviction when it comes to the internet computer, because I personally still believe in it, even though, again, I am not telling anyone to do anything. But again, I personally still believe in it. Now, is ICP still below $3? Yes. The recovery has been slight, but it hasn't really done too much in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, still, as of right now, we're over 3 times lower than $9. In which case, people like to tell me, well, who cares about that? We almost saw $9 back in November. I mean, it was $8.97 basically back in November 2025. The thing for me is this. Does anyone think November of 2025 was an altcoin season? I highly doubt that. It was not, in my opinion. Far from it. Like, for instance, $9 was considered a little bit bad, actually, when it comes to ICP. But now, because we're so low from that point, it seems like if it could just return to that, it seems a little bit impressive. Now, here's the thing. If I take a look back in time, when ICP was at around $9, basically back in November, a lot of people were saying, wow, why was it ignored at around $3? Well, it's not like it was being ignored. Actually, still a lot of people were not ignoring it at that time. And then they like to say, oh, wow, if only it was around $3 again. But as of right now, we're actually below $3. So if ICP maybe hypothetically went back to around $9, and people like to tell me, well, why didn't you care about it when it was below $3? Well, am I not talking about it as of right now? I clearly am, right? So when people like to tell me, oh, you only care about ICP when it does something, that's actually not the case, because I've been making consistent updates when it comes to ICP. I've been constantly talking about it. Furthermore, I'm literally talking about ICP right now at below $3. So if it maybe hypothetically, let's say $9 or $5 or whatever, and people like to tell me, well, why did you ignore it back then? And they look back at right now. Well, I'm not, though, right? But however, people usually will maybe hypothetically tell me that anyways. So yeah, besides that point, however, I can only control myself regardless. So personally, I'm just still waiting, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything. Now, of course, when it comes to the internet computer, people like to tell me that who's going to want to choose this in terms of developers and stuff like that? Well, I think that type of stuff takes time. I can't control that. But personally, for me, one thing I do know, though, is that I feel like the internet computer is improving. So if it is, isn't that naturally going to be pretty okay, right? Pretty cool for developers later on if they see something like the internet computer constantly improving. Not to mention, as of right now, is not a time anyways when a lot of developers typically want to enter. The reason why is because usually a lot of developers, they're kind of averse into entering a space that's not doing the best, usually in some cases. So is this space doing the best? No. So naturally, people like to say, well, a lot of developers don't care about it as of right now. That might hypothetically be the case now, but who knows moving forward? If the market hypothetically recovers again, a lot of developers usually start entering. But now, the internet computer, I think, arguably is better than before. Just because I take a look at what Dfinity is doing overall. For instance, what they did in regard to Caffeine AI. Sure, people like to say, well, who cares about that? Well, it's a self-writing apps platform. If the market does do better, Caffeine AI is waiting right there. Sure, not every developer out there might want to use AI to build apps or something like that. Who knows? Not every single one might want to do that, but at least the option hypothetically might be there. That's the thing. So I like how Dfinity is thinking more so about what things maybe could hypothetically become later on, not strictly right here, right now. They think more so, I think, sometimes in a long-term mindset. And that's just the way I take a look at it as well, because when it comes to ICP, I'm still holding and I'm still waiting. Now, do I have to do this though? No. I mean, it's purely voluntary on my part. And sure, people like to tell me that ICP is cooked, but I just don't really think about it that way. I mean, sure, it's not doing the best, but a lot of projects out there are not doing the best. But if I still see the internet computer being improved on, basically, if I still see things going on when it comes to it, I can't say I'm disappointed because I'm holding anyways. So if I'm holding a project anyways at a time like this, I'd at least like to see it improve. Well, it's only natural in my opinion. And at least I'm hypothetically seeing that. Some other projects out there, no more updates. We don't know what's going on. Maybe the team is still doing something, who knows? But sometimes we just don't know because they don't update. Now, of course, naturally the token is still around, but what's going on when it comes to some projects out there? We just really don't know. I like the frequency in which Dfinity continues to update, in which they kind of give out announcements and stuff like that. I like that sort of vibe right there, where they are continuing to update the community. Because a lot of these projects out there, they're very community driven in some cases, right? In terms of the sentiment and whatnot. So, of course, it's only natural that projects within this space typically care about that. So I do like seeing this overall when it comes to Dfinity. Is it doing the best? No, when it comes to ICP, but I'm saying still, it's still pretty cool nonetheless. And I think that even though, again, in terms of the charts, it's not doing the best, but in terms of the fundamentals, I think that it's beginning to kind of improve. So I do like seeing this overall. Now, granted, moving forward, what am I going to do? It's the usual. Still dollar cost averaging once a month, that's it. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything, right? This is just personally my perspective. But as of right now, I'm still a fan, and I just haven't given up because I still like what Dfinity is doing. So I'll wait and see what happens. But if there's going to be more updates, I'll be sure to make a video on it. And also on top of that, as this journey continues, basically, I'll be sure to continuously talk about how I feel in regard to the internet computer. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.